Your child might read the words smoothly and still not fully understand the text. That's more common than many parents realize, especially as reading gets harder in the primary years. In the early years, children are mostly learning how print works and how words sound. Later on, reading becomes the tool they use to learn science, history, maths, and everything else. At the same time, school texts get longer, denser, and more abstract. So even a fluent reader can start to struggle if understanding doesn't keep pace. Decoding is the ability to recognize written words and say them correctly. Comprehension is something different. It's the process of making meaning from those words as they connect across a whole passage. So a child can sound like a strong reader on the surface, but still lose the main message, the links between ideas, or the point of what they've read. Real comprehension asks a child to connect ideas across sentences, not just read one line at a time. It also means making inferences, like working out what a character feels, even when the text doesn't say it directly. And it relies on following cause and effect, then fitting new information into what the child already knows about the world. Vocabulary matters because one unfamiliar word can interrupt the meaning of a whole sentence. If that happens again and again, the child may keep reading aloud, but miss the bigger idea of the passage. That's why strong comprehension depends not only on reading the words, but on actually knowing what those words mean in context. You can build vocabulary at home by talking about books, shows, everyday experiences, and new topics as they come up. During read-alouds, pause when a new word appears and talk about what it might mean from the sentence around it. Another piece of the puzzle is working memory. That's the mental space a child uses to hold on to information for a short time while thinking about it. When a sentence or paragraph gets longer, the child has to keep the earlier parts in mind while making sense of the new parts. If that mental load gets too heavy, understanding can break down even when the actual reading sounds fluent. You might notice your child loses the thread of the story before the page is over, or forgets who did what by the end of a paragraph. They may also remember individual words, but struggle to retell what the text was really about. At home, you can strengthen working memory through simple games that ask your child to hold and use information for a moment. Try sequencing everyday events, asking for a quick retell or doing short recall challenges after a page or two. Schemas are mental frameworks. They help children organize what they already know about a topic. When a child starts reading, those frameworks help them predict what might come next and make sense of new information faster. So, comprehension gets easier when new ideas can connect to something familiar in the child's mind. Before reading, spend a minute talking about the topic, the title, or the pictures so your child can bring relevant knowledge to mind. You can simply ask what they already know or what they think the text might be about. That small step can make understanding much easier. Good readers stay mentally active while they read. They ask questions, make predictions, and notice when something doesn't quite make sense. You can model that habit by wondering aloud and inviting your child to stop, think, and repair meaning when they get confused. Helpful questions can sound very simple, like what just happened, why do you think that happened, or what do you think might happen next? After reading, you might ask what the most important part was or which bit was surprising. The goal is conversation, not a quiz. Comprehension can grow through playful activities too, like storytelling, acting out scenes, or talking about why a character made a choice. Drawing a scene from a book is helpful as well because it pushes a child to picture the meaning, not just repeat the words. A regular reading routine helps because children know what to expect and can settle into the task more easily. A calm, comfortable reading space can help too, especially for children who are already using lots of mental energy to make sense of text. It also helps to vary reading materials, so children experience stories, facts, articles, and topic books in different ways. Fiction, nonfiction, magazines, and books linked to your child's interests can all build comprehension while keeping motivation high. If this sounds familiar, try not to panic. Reading comprehension can improve, and progress often happens through steady support over time. Small, consistent conversations around books and language really do add up. You may want to look more closely if your child understands much less than their reading aloud would suggest, struggles to retell, or becomes frustrated by longer texts. Those signs don't tell you everything, but they do suggest it's worth finding out what might be getting in the way. When concerns keep coming up, a cognitive assessment can help build a clear picture of the skills affecting comprehension. That might include vocabulary, memory, language processing, and other thinking skills that support successful reading. The value of assessment is clarity. It can show why reading feels hard and which areas deserve the most attention. That gives parents and schools more helpful next steps instead of relying on guesswork. So the big idea is this: reading comprehension is more than reading aloud accurately. Vocabulary, working memory, prior knowledge, and active reading habits all help children turn words into meaning. You don't need long, formal lessons at home. Small, everyday moments around books, words, and conversation can make a real difference. Over time, those moments help build confidence and deeper understanding. Your support matters more than you might think. With patience, curiosity, and the right habits, you can help your child become a more thoughtful and confident reader. And that growth starts with small, supportive steps. If you're concerned that your child still isn't understanding what they read, it's okay to seek support and explore what might help. The right guidance can make the next steps clearer for both home and school. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. For further questions and inquiries, you may contact us at 65646533 or 8614-7651, or visit www.cognitive.com.sg.